Hey everyone, it's Kelly and welcome back to another little sneak peek video of our Vintage Love release. As I mentioned on Monday's video, I am out of my craft room. I am away with my family, and so I have put together these videos for you. I hope you enjoy them. I'll be back in my craft room next week for our regular live streams. Okay, tonight's card is using a stamp set designed by Kelly Taylor that is called Love is a Rose. And I have chosen this really pretty stamp that has like a big open book and a bouquet of roses and leaves and things on top of the open book. I am stamping that in a VersaFine Onyx Black ink just to have a nice crisp image, and I've stamped that onto craft cardstock. Now I am going to color these pretty roses and the book with colored pencils. So I'm going to heat set that ink really well before I start coloring, and then I want to start out by giving this whole image a base coat of white colored pencil. So the white colored pencil on craft cardstock is going to do a couple of different things for me. It's going to lay down a base layer of that waxy consistency from the pencil, and then it's also going to help the colors that go on top of the white. It's going to help them pop off or be more vibrant. Now, you could always stamp and color with colored pencils on white cardstock. I like the look of colored pencils on craft, so that is what I'm doing. Now, I'm going to start out with the leaves, and I'm going over the white that was colored in with kind of a lighter to medium green, and I'm just going to give that an all over base coat again. So all of these waxes and things from these colored pencils are gonna blend and kind of meld together with one another. Okay, so for the large rose leaves, I'm doing really green. And for the smaller little detail leaves, I'm gonna give them a base of almost a really light teal green. Now I'm gonna go in with a more true green later on for the shadows and the detail pieces, but I wanted these little leaves to be almost that blue green color so they stand out just a little bit from the larger green leaves. Now, once I get the leaves all done, and you can see here where I have deepened up just around the stamped lines to add just a little bit of darkness, like shadows, and right up the center vein of those leaves. And you could just do that with a darker pencil. I added a little bit of a green pencil to the little lightish green blue leaves, just as a little added detail as well. Now I'm going in with a kind of a medium color pink, and I am adding in my darker points first to my little roses, and that's just kind of so I can get the lay of the land here with all of the little crinkles in the petals and where the petals come together and where they might curl around each other and meet. So I'm going over my darkest points first with these, and then I'll go in with lighter pencils later on. So you can see here where I have the dark points in the roses that we talked about earlier, and then I just went over the whole thing and blended those waxes together with a lighter pink. And so it makes, the tips of the little petals a little bit lighter pink. Now I did very simple coloring for the book. I did the base of it in a really deep like teal blue and the pages in a creamy color, deepened up the center of the book where all the pages would come together in kind of a tan brown. Now I am taking a page out of Kelly Taylor's book here, and I am going over the stamped lines with a fine tip black marker. And this is something that Kelly loves to do. I know you guys have probably seen her do this in her videos, but especially after she does all of her wonderful coloring, she just goes back in and deepens up those lines. And I have to say, after I get this all finished, I'm super excited about how all of this turns out and how all those details just pop. You can see it here as I'm adding the coordinating dies, how those added black detail lines right over the stamped lines just make the whole image pop out, and I am in love with the way that this has turned out. Now this die cut of pattern paper I cut with our new lace heart layering frames, and the sentiment is from Kelly's stamp set, Love is a Rose. Now I love our layering frames die sets because it makes it super easy for me to layer pattern paper or solid colored cardstock or whatever I need to do. And this sentiment says our story is my favorite, so it goes perfect with the roses and the little book that's down there. I'm going to heat set this wet ink so I can add this directly onto my card. Now you'll see the pinky color scalloped base there. That layer is also from the lace heart layering frames. And now I'm going to start adding all the little bits and pieces onto my card base. So I've started with some dyed seam binding in this like vintage tan color, and I've wrapped it around and just taped it down. I'm going to use some foam strips to put on the back. That seems to help me, especially when I add ribbon or twine or something like that to my cardstock. It lifts that paper up just enough to give room for whatever I have wrapped around there. I'm adding this pink scalloped panel onto a really pretty kind of really deep jewel toned turquoisey green, and that is going to coordinate with the leaves that are in the roses as well as the really dark colored book, the spine or the cover of the book. I'm going to pop this up with some foam dots, and then to finish this off I'm going to add a seam binding little bow down to the corner, and I'm just doing that later and just tying it directly around the little strip that I added there to the bottom of the card. Now to finish this off and to add a little bit of sparkle and shine, I've added the gold matte pearls from the Vintage Love adhesive pearl set, and this beautiful Love is a Rose card is all done and ready to go. I hope you've enjoyed this little sneak peek for you, and as I mentioned, I'll be back in my craft room next week with live streams, and then Wednesday the 31st we'll be having our release party, and I hope to see you then. Bye bye.